The fool hath said in his heart, There is no God. Corrupt are they, and have done abominable iniquity.
You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at. I got indicted, and I was innocent. And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me.
President Trump has made 60 Minutes look terrible with each gotcha question thrown at him. You're going to look at those. Pretty phenomenal for those who don't have a clue on what's going on, right? Those that watch 60 Minutes and believe it all, especially those on the liberal TDS train. The comms from the Q board were pretty clear again. We're in the final stages of this operation. Election theft is on full throttle. And the stores are empty. It's kind of strange, right? Folks noticed big change in what's happening after the SNAP stuff was not kicked in. I believe we're going to check into that today. Thank you, folks, for 500,000 followers. We appreciate that on Rumble, and you guys have been really good to us. We tried several times to request to get back on YouTube. Many of the folks that post about Q got their channels back. They refused on the fifth time, I believe now, and Rumble's been good to us and taking care of us. So thank you for that and hitting the like button there. And just a reminder also that we have the new Truth, Hope, Faith, and Freedom shirts and the sweat shirts, also the tops, the bag, Truth, Hope, Faith, and Freedom on our store, shop.mweknow.com. We also have the Fishers of Men. Follow me. Make you Fishers of Men, and also our new embroidered collection. So we hope that you would check that out. That would be great.
Did you order U.S. forces to defend Taiwan?
You'll find out if it happens. And he understands the answer to that.
Why not say
This never even came up yesterday as a subject. He never brought it up. People were a little surprised at that. He never brought it up because he understands it, and he understands it very well.
Do you mind if I ask, when you say he understands, why not communicate that publicly to the rest of us? What does he understand?
I don't want to give away. I can't give away my secrets. I don't want to be one of these guys that tells you exactly what's going to happen if something happens. The other side knows, but I'm not somebody that tells you everything because you're asking me a question. But they understand what's going to happen, and he has openly said, and his people have openly said at meetings, we would never do anything while President Trump is president because they know the consequences.
Very interesting, right? That they would try to push him to give up information that has can be very dangerous if President Trump was to give it up. I mean, can you imagine if she says, why don't you just tell us what you're doing? Come on, give us the secret information. We really want to know. Our bosses that control us at the CIA, they really want to know what you're up to, President Trump. Shows just, in a sense, they're trying to play smart, but they're actually pretty stupid. And this agent knows what she's up to. She's been trained well. Let's continue.
James Comey, John Bolton, Letitia James were all recently indicted. There's a pattern to these names. They're all public figures who have publicly denounced you. Is it political retribution?
You know what? You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at. I got indicted, and I was innocent. And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me. And yet, when you go after a dirty cop like Comey, or a guy like Bolton, who I hear I don't know anything about it. I hear he took records all over the place. Who knows? Letitia James is a terrible, dishonest person, in my opinion.
Did you instruct the Department of Justice to go after them?
Not in any way, shape, or form. No, you don't have to instruct them because they were so dirty, they were so crooked, they were so corrupt that the honest people we have, Pam Bondi's doing a very good job.
Amazing that they would ask President Trump about retaliation, right? Retribution, political retribution. You're going after Comey and James and Bolton. I mean, it's just the typical stuff they do over and over, and it just gets so old. I'm tired of it, and we have to continue to give the same answers back to them. That look what they did to President Trump. How many times did they try to go after him politically to take him down so he wouldn't run for president again? How many times did they go after him when he was serving the first time as 45? That's what we dealt with for 4 years. Just one attack after another. The Russia hoax. The perfect phone call. The stuff that we've got memorized now. I mean, we know the key players. We understand what they did. And so they know that we know what's going on. But they're going to continue to ask the question that President Trump must be going back to get them. So that the minds of the people that watch 60 Minutes, that believe all their hogwash, will then think that that's right. He's just going after them. And they have no clue just how evil these players are that they were pointing out. And so, interesting, the White House put this out. Welcome to my safe space where Democrats go when opening the government feels too hard. And they called it my safe space. So interesting, because if you go to the Q board, folks, there's actually a particular phrase there, safe space. And it's regarding to Hugh Hefner. Yeah, the Playboy guy. Remember the guy that many believe was part of the CIA that was actually using his mansion, had tunnels under it and everything, using his mansion to traffic children. Mm-hmm. You guys are missing the importance of Hugh Hefner, Q told us. Think of it this way. Hugh invites over celebrities and politicians. Hugh offers them something younger, quote unquote. Hugh offers them a safe space to do it in. Hugh tapes the encounter, records it. He sends the tape to the CIA. The CIA has the person by, for life. This is majorly important to what has been keeping people in control for so long. This is how Congress is controlled. And it's amazing that the White House would let us know my safe space for the Democrats, I believe, to tell us, and many believe on the Q board, letting us know the reason things are the way they are is because Congress has been under control because of what they have participated in. So check out what happened with Brooke Rollins and the USDA.
Day one of USDA, February 13th, is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. 0, 0, 0. We asked every state for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with Doge and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, we know they were trying to buy the election, but that's a conversation for another time. And since we have asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of couple blue states too. But in that data, and I haven't talked about this yet publicly, in that data we've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off just since the president took office. We've arrested about 118 people. So this has been ongoing. But Rachel, to your point, what this conversation has allowed is a national spotlight on a broken and corrupt program. We found one guy in 6 different states getting a benefit. We found about 5,000 people that are dead who are still getting benefits. Like, it is time to drastically reform this program so that we can make sure that those who are truly needy, truly vulnerable, are getting what they need, and the rest of the corruption goes away and we can serve the American taxpayer.
Interesting, right? How they play the game and they don't want to participate in being looked at. We want to make sure the illegal immigrants aren't getting benefits that's meant for the American families. Oh, no. We're a Democrat state. We can't help you on that one. And oh, by the way, we're gonna sue you for even asking. Does that shock anyone?
And the Democrats will continue to abuse it. They sued the USDA for simply asking them to tell them how many illegal aliens are on the programs in California and New York and these other states. They sued them. You need to take account of what people are doing here in each party, the leaders and the President of the United States, we are trying to get government to work more efficiently and effectively for the people, and we are getting stopped and hindered by political games by Democrats. And that's why we're so frustrated.
Democrats suing the administration with the full support of Democrat judges to demand no citizenship checks for food stamps, no citizen checks for Medicaid, and no citizen checks for voting. They're all working together. They place their judges in there. They work with the politicians. They rig the elections so that they get in power. We know most of them. I believe nearly all of them are in power because of the rigged elections, paid for. Why did they rig them? Because people were lining their pockets and they're doing exactly what they were told. And others had to do what they were told because of fear of retribution against them and their lives. So what would happen to the Democrats? Let's see. Let's go to the Communist News Network. They seem to be making a few changes as they start sharing the truth about the Democrats. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. And then just lastly, Van, in terms of Democrats and where they go from here, this last week we did see them some people try to protest during the president's address and then House leadership getting onto them, other Democrats calling them out. They still seem to be wandering around trying to figure this out. What's your take?
Can we ask another question? Do I have to talk about my own party? Can we talk about Ukraine or something? No. Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Somebody like Donald Trump, we thought we'd at least have, Hakeem Jeffries in the speaker's chair to hold him back if we didn't have Kamala in there to do the right thing. Listen, the Democratic Party is going through a massive set of internal crises. You have a party that got trapped two ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us. That's not a good strategy, folks. Defending a broken status quo and offending most of the country turns out is not as popular as my party thought it was going to be. And so it's going to take a while for people to get it figured out. I don't like talking about this. I'd rather be beat up. Can you give me something I can beat up Shermichael about? I don't want to talk about my own party.
I know. It's a tough question.
So the Democrats are in trouble and they're laughing about it. We're in trouble. Laugh and laugh and laugh. Let's make sure we throw Trump under the bus on that one too. Let's make it look like we could have had him under control if we would have just done everything that we needed to do. We thought we had it all lined up. It just didn't work out the way we wanted. But they're laughing as if they've got something cooking in the background. We've got a lot more to cover. I'm going to show you that in a moment.
Prior to December 2021, my husband Larry was a healthy, active man with no health concerns or underlying conditions. He was a college lecturer and a successful musician, but that was all taken away from him on the 15th of December 2021. That was the day he received a COVID Pfizer booster injection in Oma Leisure Centre.
Well, that heartbreaking story from Larry Lowe's wife. She's talking because it's too hard for him to speak. Just because she didn't react immediately to the COVID jab, it doesn't mean you are in the clear. Mysterious symptoms and even deaths are surfacing months, sometimes years later. So you look at this, the VAERS reports show way more COVID vaccine injuries than something as common as Tylenol. And get this, experts estimate only 1% of cases are even reported. Plus, shedding means you could be exposed even if you skip the shot. Now, mRNA vaccines could be in our livestock, even organic. Why are mRNA vaccines different? It's the spike proteins. These proteins meant to train your immune system can interact with blood vessels and platelets, potentially causing clotting or inflammation. Overwhelming evidence shows millions are affected. So what's the solution? It starts with your gut. A healthy gut microbiome is the number one factor in fixing damage from vaccines, antibiotics, and the standard American diet. And the best way to boost gut diversity is kimchi. Studies, like one from the National Institute of Health, show kimchi's incredible power to restore gut health. But let's be real, eating kimchi daily isn't Easy. That's where Brightcore's Kimchi 1 comes in. Delivers 900 probiotic strains, live enzymes, and antioxidants in one convenient capsule. No mess, no taste. It supports digestion, energy, metabolism, immunity, and more. The And We Know listeners can get 25% off Kimchi 1 with code AWK at mybrightcore.com/AWK or call 888-317-9941 for up to 50% off plus free shipping today.
Democrats at this point are historically divided. It is a complete and utter mess. It is messier than a hoarder's basement. What are we talking about here? The national early poll leader, 25% plus. Normally that's where Democrats are. Biden was at 25% plus in 2020. Hillary Clinton was in 08 and 16. Gore was in 00 and 04. At this particular point, there is no one in the Democratic race for president who's polling at 25% plus. The water is quite warm. If you're a Democrat potentially thinking about running in 2028, jump right in, because at this point, there is no front runner.
What do you think? Is that because how people view the Democratic Party right now, is that contributing to this?
Yeah, I think that is in large part of what's going on, is one of the reasons why there is no front runner. Nobody wants to put anybody up at the top of their ballot list, is because at this particular point, the Democratic brand is in the basement. It is total and complete garbage in the mind of the American public. The Democratic Party's net favorable rating, record lows in all three. Wall Street Journal, 30 points underwater. CNN, 26 points underwater. Gallup, 26 points underwater. And that is being driven in large part by discontent within the Democratic base. The Democratic base wants something different. We'll ultimately end up seeing who they choose. It'll be quite the thing who ultimately gets the...
Never forget, the numbers are coming out, and we always add about 10, 15 points to all that nonsense that they put on the screen, of course. So, speaking of Democrats,
we are now approaching the longest shutdown in American history.
Democrats' fault.
Under your presidency, we're talking about more than 1 million federal workers who are not getting a paycheck, including our air traffic controllers. You see there's traffic snarls out at the airports now. Sure. This weekend, food aid for more than 42 million Americans is set to expire. What are you doing as president to end the shutdown?
All we're doing is we keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. You know, they've never had this. This has happened like 18 times before. The Democrats always voted for an extension, always saying, give us an extension, we'll work it out. They've lost their way. They become crazed lunatics. And all they have to do, Nora, is say, let's vote.
All they have to do? Just vote. President Trump said terminate the filibuster, not just for the shutdown, but for everything else. We will get all of our common sense policies approved. Voter ID, anyone? And make America great again. Remember, the Democrats will do it immediately, as soon as they get the chance. Our doing it will not give them the chance. Republicans, be tough and smart. The Dems are crazed lunatics. They will not open up our country no matter how many people are irreparably harmed. Some folks would say, well, if they get rid of the filibuster, when the Democrats get back in charge, they're just going to use this to destroy everything. They're already destroying our country. They're already lying to everyone. Many of them deserve to be in prison or sent off for treason of our country. So why would they even get their power back if the Republicans did their job, terminated the filibuster, and started doing what President Trump calls common sense? Then we can finally get everything done that needs to get done, fix this country, remove them, and guess what? You imagine? Expose them all, bring the policies in. The next thing you know, all these guys are shipped off and they're gone. Elections actually come back to voter ID. All of a sudden you realize, man, we could have like 85 to 90% conservatives running the United States of America and actually representing the people. And we'll realize that 10 to 15% of them are all the crybabies. that don't want anything done. Maybe they could fix the Hawaii airport for once and turn it into something like Dubai Airport if you actually had real elections and brought in some common sense into Hawaii. I don't know why I just thought of that, but it's something we talked about the other day. I guess that's why I'm thinking about is just how sickening it is to fly into this beautiful place and you get off the airplane and it's like, where are we at? So anyway, speaking of where we're at, head over to Walmart. You think that people are going to get their, beginning of the month, they get their benefits, they kick in, the government funds kick into their cards, and, they start filling up the aisles and grabbing all the food. Well, look at this.
Holy cow, it's the first on damn Walmart. And the blood clot place damn near empty. Everybody cart normal size. They're not paying no cat, because we're paying cash. Everybody cart normal, no $1,000 buggy. And this is, what time is it now? What, 12? What time is it? It is 3:34. 3:34 on the first. And Walmart now started. The shelves nicely packed. Oh my gosh.
What is going on? There's a lot of folks that we show complaining and we say, oh, look at this. And they say, I better get my benefits, or I'm going to steal somebody's card, or I'm just going to steal the food anyway. We show those. I want to show you something on a positive note. Somebody said, you know what? I'm not going to play this game. I'm going to actually go out there and I'm going to make something happen.
Good morning. It's 6 a.m. I'm going to see how much money I can make during the breakfast rush doing Uber Eats. I've been up since 3 a.m., so I might as well make some money while I'm up. I just have an Uber order. Thank you. You too. That man literally scared the crap out of me. He was just sitting on his balcony waiting for me to deliver his food. He was like, hey, friend. When I tell you my heart dropped. Uber Eats order for Joe. It's both bags. I don't know why I was under the impression that this lady got 6 donuts. No, she got 6 dozen donuts, and so I have 2 bags. What's this? I have an Uber Eats order for Joe.
And so she continues to do Uber Eats. We don't have to go through all of them. I just wanted you guys to see her excitement. And she's up and she's saying, you know what? I'm going to go out and make some money. I'm going to make ends meet. And she's hustling. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but a majority of these, when we've seen the Uber Eats come in, or DoorDash or these others, or we've actually taken an Uber ride, there's a lot of them can barely speak English that we've been with, just in our personal experience. And you're like, wouldn't it be interesting to see the Americans actually step up to the plate and actually take these jobs after all these folks have been sent back home? Then there's no more excuse if I can't find a job and I need my benefits, or I can't work. They say I can't work and I need to eat and, whatever. Just kind of throwing that in there. But then, of course, you run over to the food bank lines. And I found this very interesting because I didn't know about this. But look how much food is handed out to folks.
I'm 52nd in the food bank line. Let's see how long it takes and what we're given. This is a drive-through pickup. Everybody stays in their car. Thankfully, in Florida, it's only 82 degrees today, which is the coolest it's been in a while. So everyone has their cars off and their windows rolled down. This food bank started right on time. Cars started moving at exactly 5 o'clock. You can already see the first cars getting food. This pickup can handle 2 cars at a time, making it really fast. It's only been 6 minutes and everything is moving very quickly. And after only 10 minutes, we're practically at the front of the line. Here's where they're handing out the food. I got to the pickup 20 minutes early, a 15-minute wait, and a 5-minute commute each way for a total of 45 minutes. Let's go inside and see what we got. I'm home and we got all kinds of food, including some mush overnight oats, all kinds of oatmeal, ricotta and Monterey Jack cheese, a dairy-free cheese, a dozen eggs, 2% milk, almond breeze chocolate milk, mac and cheese bites, 12 hummus singles from Whole Foods, Kava spicy hummus, 3 cold.
So she goes through them all. We don't need to go through every single one of them. Bottom line is she gets some chicken. She gets looks like a turkey, a bunch of sausage, and some more. So imagine if you get your SNAP benefits and then you're like, I'm going to get over to the food bank, get some food there, and just stock up so that I've got plenty of food and I don't really have to get a job. By the way, I need to pay my rent, so I'm going to sell some of my SNAP card benefits to somebody so I can get some money put in my pocket. Remember, we've learned about this, haven't we? What other scams were happening that actually came up with President Trump in his recent interview with 60 Minutes? Well, before I show you that part, let's have a reminder the minute that John McCain, that moment that he betrayed Americans and locked us into the healthcare cost crisis. That's what we're dealing with, right? They keep saying healthcare, we're trying to fix it, make some adjustments to the Affordable Care Act. You know, they call it Obamacare, which was already unpopular before it was passed. Remember, Republicans won back the Senate largely on the promise to get rid of it, to repeal it. But then old McCain came out and messed the whole thing up.
1:29 a.m. Senator McCain re-enters the chamber. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell stands at the front of the room like he had most of the night. The grin on his face, though, quickly disappears.
Mr. Peters.
Senator Bernie Sanders appears to nudge Senator Jeanne Shaheen as if to say, "Watch this." McCain waves his hand to get the attention of the Senate clerk, pauses for just a moment, and gives a dramatic thumbs down. An audible gasp on the Senate floor, and then commotion. Some Democrats can't contain their excitement. Senator Elizabeth Warren leans in to get a better look and breaks into applause. Senator Dianne Feinstein, a single assertive clap. Senator Sherrod Brown slams his hand on the desk in affirmation, while some Republicans, like Senator Marco Rubio, stare in disbelief. Senator Bill Cassidy drops his head. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer turns and waves his arms, apparently trying to quiet them, as Senator John McCain turns around and walks back to his chamber desk all alone.
Mr. Reed.
Yeah. They would have delivered on that promise to repeal Obamacare. Had no name, not walked up and did what he did. That was one of dozens of things that we found out about that character. We detailed it when we had his, they had his little funeral service, and I remember slightly the flag that was draped over the casket that was not done properly. It was wrinkled. I believe it was backwards, if I remember right. And we had a lot of comms on the keyboard about that whole thing. Sassafras 84, when the Affordable Care Act passed behind closed doors without one Republican vote, the average annual premiums for a family of 4 people was around $1,000 per year. In a 3-year period, a family of 4 ended up having to pay annual premiums of $5,000 and an excessive amount of out-of-pocket costs before the medical insurance paid. It was a scam before it was passed. Democrats forced through Obamacare when 70% liked their insurance. No Republican votes. They swore it'd pay for itself. Now it costs $500 billion. They broke it and left taxpayers holding the bag. They are liars and thieves. So it's interesting because when you look at this and you realize what No Name did, it just really baffles your mind how this things play out. Here's President Trump.
Obamacare is terrible. It's bad health care. Obamacare is terrible. It's bad health care at far too high a price. We should fix that. We should fix it. And we can fix it with the Democrats. All they have to do is let the country open and we'll fix it. They have to let the country open and I'll sit down with the Democrats and we'll fix it. But they have to let the country. And you know what they have to do? All they have to do is raise 5 hands. We don't need all of them.
You know what's happening in this country. Big corporations and the deep state are swallowing up family farms and ranches. We're talking 15 to 30,000 gone every year, folks. In just the last 5 years, 20.1 million acres of farmland erased. Families who've been raising your food for generations are being pushed off their land, and the ones who survive, well, they're hidden behind big corporate brands never recognized. That's why I want to introduce you to Tri-Tails Beef. They're a fifth-generation Texas family ranch, and they raise cattle the right way. Pasture-raised, grain-finished for flavor and tenderness, and never touched with mRNA shots. And here's something I love. They even source from other ranchers who meet their same high standards. It's all the same care, genetics, and integrity. Their beef is the real deal. High-end Black Angus genetics, aged to perfection, shipped straight from the ranch to your door. This isn't just about a steak. It's about taking a stand for American ranching, real food, and the families who make both possible. So if you want to fight back, if you want to keep your dinner table connected to real American hands, go to trybeef.com/AWK and support Tri-Tails today in the description box below.
Make it much less expensive for people and give them much better health care.
But where is
and
that
I'd
plan?
be willing to
But
work
where's
with the
that plan?
Democrats on it. The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers, to all these millions of people that were allowed to come in with an open border from Biden, and nobody can do that. Not one Republican would ever do that.
My understanding is if those healthcare subsidies are not extended, premiums will double for many of the people that are on it. And I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their healthcare premiums double. Live in states where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm saying we can fix it, Nora.
You have helped end these government shutdowns in the past when they came about, and you did it by bringing.
I'm very good at it,
You
but I'm
brought
not going to
members of
do it by.
Congress
I'm not going to do
to
it
the
by
White House.
extortion. I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way. There's something wrong with these people.
So then what happens on November
is a
15th when the
basket
troops
case.
don't get a paycheck?
Schumer is a basket case, and he has nothing to lose. He's become, I just left Japan, he's become a kamikaze pilot.
Sounds like it's not going to get solved, the shutdown.
It's going to get solved, yeah. Oh, it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
You're saying the Democrats will capitulate.
I think they have to. And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to agree with something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear.
That's right. Do the option. Get it done. And she's rolling her eyes, and she's trying to attack him and try to push back, and she just won't let him answer the question without having to cut him off over and over again to put doubt into people's mind. She's getting paid to do her job to seed doubt into the minds of the people. And he has to fight back as much as he can. And what do they say? Well, Trump is such a fighter. He's so mean. I can't believe that he talks to people like that. How about the way she's talking to him? But that's not the way that people see it. See, they use this as, they'll just take clips of President Trump and the way he's discussing. He's trying to talk over her because she won't let him answer the question. And the big thing about this whole healthcare thing, we went over it years ago. But again, why is the government getting involved in our healthcare? Folks, where was I? Oh, it was in Germany. I was stationed there in the government service right after I got out of the Marine Corps. I mean, we were around government healthcare. And I'll never forget, there was a guy that told me that worked in the government service. And I said, hey, isn't it great? You guys aren't you happy that you have all your healthcare paid for here in Germany? And they were talking, he was telling me about the taxes. And then he says, I can't stand it. So why? Aren't you guys happy? He said, if somebody gets a headache, instead of going to the store to buy headache medicine or going to the hospital because they're not feeling well, they'll call and an ambulance will show up and deliver the medication to them. You see, I didn't even think about that. Can you imagine if that, free health care for everyone. Oh, well, I don't feel like going to the hospital. I'm just going to make a call to the ambulance since it's free and they're just going to bring me some headache pills. How many of you putting your hands up saying, oh, man, that would be, I know somebody who would do that. They take advantage of it all. Whew. And the way that it happened to us, I took our daughter once. They had all these rooms closed in one of the hospitals except for 2. So they had all these rooms in this long hallway closed with the lights off and everything. And I was like, what's going on in this place? And it looked beat up and old, and they had all the sick kids, different illnesses in one room, folks. There's about 4 of them. And they want to put my daughter in there too. And I was like, what's going on? And we found out, well, they have to save money because they had cut costs. And if you put them in one room, you only have to use electricity in that room and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. We got her out of there immediately and took her to the on-base hospital about an hour and a half drive away. It was worth every second that we drove there because we went to the local hospital to save time, right? It's right down the road. Things that we learned. And so this character was the one that made it all happen. And don't forget, to get in power, Obama was encouraging the illegals to vote. Remember?
If you want to vote and you show up at your polling place, they can't stop you from voting. They can't stop you from voting. If people want to know how to vote, then you can go to iwillvote.com. The fact of the matter is that we give our power away all the time. You know, we tell ourselves, oh, it's hard, it's not going to matter, it's not going to count. And the powers that be, they're counting on us giving our power away.
Many of the millennials, dreamers, undocumented citizens, and I call them citizens because they contribute to this country, are fearful of voting. So if I vote, will immigration know where I live? Will they come for my family and deport us?
Not true.
Okay.
And the reason is, first of all, when you vote, you are a citizen yourself, and there is not a situation where the voting rolls somehow are transferred over and people start investigating, etc. The sanctity of the vote is strictly confidential in terms of who you voted for. If you have a family member who maybe is undocumented, then you have an even greater reason to vote.
Do you remember that? Does it get under your skin? Admitting that to the public. Imagine airplanes filled up a week prior to the election. You fly in as many people as you can. You place them all in all the cities across the United States of America, and you tell them, all right, you guys go vote. And then when you're done, you take like a week vacation. We'll put you in some hotels and then enjoy America. And when you're done, you guys can go back home. Do you understand? So many don't get it. The Dems intentionally left the border open, flooded the nation with tens of millions of illegals, harbored them in sanctuary cities, refused any election security, encourage illegals to vote, and they steal elections. We are under attack from within. The Democrats have waged war against the American people. They imported tens of millions of illegal voters so they can retain power. That's why they don't want Trump ICE to deport the illegals. This is why they don't want election security and voter ID. This is treason on the highest levels. We're already at war. Some people don't seem to understand that there is not going to be any coexistence with them. Either we defeat the deep state here and now, or they will gain complete control and humanity will be destined to a life of slavery at the hands of true evil. So then, other things that happen. Not only do they import the illegals or they use them for their voting, well, they've got their ballots in their cars.
300 mail-in ballots for the governor's recall race were found inside a car parked at this torn 7-Eleven with a man sleeping inside of it.
So that's kind of the part where we're at now with this investigation is why were the ballots in his vehicle? What was his intent with those ballots?
It was an employee
in his vehicle. 300 ballots. And then President Trump sent a reminder, everyone. He retruthed this weekend.
It's structured. We see quite a few flaws. You're able to register even if and cast a vote if you don't live in the country, as evident of his brother in Pakistan. And I think we have some evidence of 2 or 3 other people out of the country that have voted. Is that correct?
Yeah, approximately 2 or 3 other people out of the country, as well as people residing outside of the district.
Okay. The online voter registration system, it seems to be an honor system. Anybody can put information in there to register to vote. All you have to do is click a box and say that you're not lying, and then you'll get an email from the Secretary of State or something in the mail saying, thank you for registering to vote. And there you are. Once you're on the voter rolls, anytime an election comes around, guess what? You get mailed a ballot, right? You get mailed something to vote.
The ballot's mailed to you. So even the ones that do it right, they go online and they're illegals. They can just go online, boop, okay, got my address, and they're shipped out. And they pick them up and deliver them, and they say, hey, vote about 10 more times, would you? What do you mean vote 10 more times? Let's look at New York.
I'm here in New York, about to illegally vote for Zoran Mamdani 6 times. Yeah. 6.
6 times. I'm bragging to you guys how many times I'm going to vote for him. Oh, these guys. Let's see. Something else I wanted to show you was this one here. In a bizarre moment, Gavin Newsom tilts his head like a snake and says this.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Did you legitimately believe that he was capable of serving as president until January of 2029?
Yeah, I think
he's talking about Biden.
My focus was frankly situational. It was making sure Donald Trump didn't get back into office to experience everything that we're experiencing today. And there was no interaction I had that suggested otherwise.
What do you say to Americans who feel misled by you and other top
misled in what
Democrats
respect? He decided to step
about the
down.
mental acuity of President Biden, that they wish you'd sounded the alarm sooner to give way for
I never
an
experienced.
open
Look,
convention?
I'm not going to substitute myself for someone else or for popular opinion. I'm going to express my relationship to my truth with the former president of the United States.
So I can't stand politicians who sit there and lie to you. And then what does he do? He sits there and lies to you. After he makes his move like a snake, slithering around with it's probably how the demons behave right when they're inside the body. They turn you into a snake. So, of course, they're talking about Biden. You go back to President Trump. And we remember the auto pen, right?
They indicted me many times. Indicted me. They were after me. I'm looking at you now, President of the United States. I went through numerous indictments and 2 impeachments. And you tell me that I went after people?
Q insinuated that Hunter was an informant. Then his voice glitched into a Biden White House video saying he took a plea sentence. Now they're all exposed. Let's finish this part.
These people are dishonest. Look, Biden didn't have a clue. He illegally used, as you know, a machine, the auto pen, in order to give pardons to people. The only pardon he signed, it looks like, was his son, Hunter. He signed Hunter's, so Hunter, you're free. Congratulations, Hunter. But everyone else, I think those pardons are all were just a waste of time.
Fauci, our chief COVID medical advisor, Javier Becerra, excuse me, our nominee for Secretary of Health.
So just so you know my life, as
Dr.
we're waiting to do this, I just agreed to
Dr. Rochelle
plea sentence
Walensky, she's going to be the director for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Yep, so Hunter was caught saying he took a plea sentence. We were told on the cue board, why would Hunter Biden risk turning over such material to a computer repair shop? Contents unrestricted. On purpose. Years of being treated poorly by Pop. Or simple negligence. If such information existed on a laptop, why wouldn't contents be claimed? Several attempts made to contact a claim. Messages left. Why wouldn't Hunter Biden want to reclaim knowing the contents on the drive could bury Pops and family? A troubled life? A troubled family? Looks can be deceiving. Hunter turned that laptop from hell in, and they came up with the story to try to protect him and say, yeah, I just dropped it off at the repair shop and I left it there, forgot to pick it up, Dad. And that's how we got the laptop from hell. These guys are not going to like it when that auto pin stuff gets turned off and everyone that got there, the 8,000 plus people that got their pardons from the auto pin, the people that allowed it to happen, that played the game, they're going to be in shock when things don't look good for them. It's amazing because another movie is coming out showing Nuremberg. What happens to people when they're traitors? Nuremberg actually opens in theaters November 7th, and people are getting kind of like, what? How's this coming out now? I'm going to play the trailer for you.
Justice Jackson? They captured Herman Goring alive. What are they going to do with him?
You're standing inside a secret military prison. It houses what's left of the Nazi high command.
See? Hey! Never do that in my prison again.
The governments of Russia, France, Great Britain, and our United States will put these men on trial for their lives.
It can't be done. There's no international law to base charges on.
The world needs to know what these men did.
Dr. Kelly, Central Command thinks you're some kind of hotshot head shrinker. You will inspect and ensure the prisoner's mental health. The one you'll have to watch the closest is Goering.
He was appointed Hitler's successor in 1939 and is the highest-ranking German military officer of all time.
He's highly intelligent,
Charming, and a narcissist.
I am going to escape the hangman's noose. Very sure of yourself.
No man has ever beaten me.
You want to know why it happened here? Because people let it happen.
Anything less than total victory will be considered utter defeat. You have to be flawless. I'm going to put Herman Goering on the stand, and I'm going to make him tell the world what he did.
Are you going to defend yourself?
What would you have me say?
How about the truth for once?
I am a prisoner because you won and we lost.
Not because you're morally superior. I know more about this man than anyone else on the planet. You're walking into a trap.
Russell Crowe, Leo Woodall, John Slatton, Mark O'Brien, Colin Hanks, Richard Grant,
We are
Michael
able
Shannon.
to do away with domestic tyranny only when we make all men answerable to the law, so that it can never happen again.
Nuremberg. Opening up November 7th. Judgment is coming. It's on the screen for all to see. Judgment is coming.
I wanted to ask you about the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is coming to the White House this month. He has said they won't join the Abraham Accords without a two-state solution. Do you believe that?
No, I think he's going to join. I think we will have a solution. I don't know if it's going to be two-state. That's going to be up to Israel and other people and me. But look, the main thing is you could have never had any kind of a deal if you had a nuclear Iran. And you essentially had a nuclear Iran. And I blasted the hell out of them.
Yeah. Interesting, right? Saudi Arabia, one of the central players in the what they would call the Game of Thrones. Trump teases that Saudi Arabia is going to join the Abraham Accords. Shows how striking the Iran's nuclear facilities paved the way for the peace deal. You got this from, I believe, I can't remember exactly who I got this for, but they spilled out something that I thought was pretty good. He's spoon-feeding this test. He's confirming that he made a deal with Saudi Crown bin Salman and the leaders of the Muslim Arab world to take out Iran's nuclear capabilities in exchange for a peace deal in the Middle East and joining the Abraham Accords. That's why Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE treated Trump like a king when he visited back in May. That's why Qatar gave him a plane, because Trump is cleaning up the mess that Obama created with the Iran deal. Now, that's the opinion of one of the reporters out there on how this must have played out. In other parts of the earth, there's video footage showing the rescue workers trying to save the life of Uruguayan mayor Carlos Manzo after he was assassinated by a cartel while attending a Day of the Dead celebration. For months, Manzo had pleaded with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum for help in combating the cartels in the city. When no action was taken, he spoke out against her in strong terms. In May, President Trump offered to send the U.S. military to fight cartels in Mexico, but Sheinbaum rejected it and called for collaboration instead. And then you wonder why the Pentagon orders quick reaction force of 500 troops per state. Why would they have this happen? So I was talking, I had an interview with Real AF Patriot. I believe it's dropped today or tomorrow. Don't remember the exact day. We pre-recorded it, and he's releasing it on his channel. And he showed me that something that somebody else had was talking about. The Trump officials, top Trump officials, are actually moving onto military bases. Stephen Miller, Marco Rubio, Kristi Noem, and others have taken over homes that until recently housed senior officers. Why? Interesting, because if you go over back to this story, the cartels, and we showed you the number of people that were brought into our nation who were what? Who were of the age of what? Military men. And so, number one, if it's part of a show, it's showing us that they're so evil, these people out there, that even the left and those people that don't pay attention will say, well, that's interesting. Why do they move people on base? Because there are people that are so evil, they want to take them out. And then in real world scenario, if there's still remnants of the deep state left over, and they've got access to cartels and MS-13 members and more, they could be used to get rid of what they could perceive as their threat. And there's nothing safer than being on a military base where to get access to that base is nearly impossible. Interesting. And then we were given this. If you're looking at this aircraft, a 22-second video of an F-35 fighter jet going vertical with the timestamp of 5:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ultra Magadine Erickson decoded this for us. Remember, 22-second video, that's Q22. Who controls the National Guard? Why was the National Guard recently activated in select cities within the U.S.? Can the National Guard work in coordination with the Marines? Do conditions need to be satisfied to authorize? I think with the Pentagon ordering the quick reaction force of 500 troops per state, we're getting there. The conditions are going to happen. Remember, they have it all. The biggest drop to ever be provided on polls, study and prepare. The masses tend to panic in such situations. No war, no civil unrest, clean and swift. And while this is playing out, the top military officials, the officials that work for the administration, are going to go to the military base. Does that mean we're getting closer? You betcha. And then we're reminded with the 5:10 timestamp, we take out the 0, it's 51. One nation under God. Dear Patriot, we hear you. We hear all Americans such as yourself. The time has come to take back our great land. The time is now. Rest assured, POTUS is backed by the absolute finest people alive, who are all dedicated to the eradication of evil and corruption from the U.S. and the world. Find peace. God is with us. God bless and be safe. The WH, which could be the White Hats. Hope you're picking up what Dan is laying down with this calm. Things are about to go vertical. The National Guard is in place. There will be no war, no civil unrest, and it will be clean and swift. The time has come to take back our great land. God bless and be safe. Now, here's something else I noticed. It's pretty cute. The plane makes a weird noise and you're trying to act cool, but your soul already left your body. That's what it says on this meme. And there's a little kid chewing some food. He's like, hey, what's that sound? Dan Scavino posted that video at 5:01 for people to see. 5:01 on the board. Sky Fortress engaged. Showing a video of an aircraft in the sky. Forgotten country. Taking down these evil, deep state, satanic worshiping freaks is not an easy task. Paul White Gold Eagle reminded us of this with pictures on the screen. If you're not looking, it's important that you do look. That's DC maps, folks, and how they laid out the streets. We've talked about this before with their symbolism and their demonic worship. The Trump ballroom is not what you think. It blocks the satanic grid with Tesla technology. The 200-year spell is broken. What is under the White House? What's happening beneath the White House was not renovation. It was the demolition of a 200-year ritual machine. Trump's new ballroom cut through the southern energy channel of that pentagram, shattering the field that sustained the Freemason lattice. Space Force engineers and Q-linked military architects designed the foundation of the new ballroom as a quantum firewall lined with mu metal, 0-point Tesla arrays, and frequency shields tuned to Earth's natural harmonics. Beneath it, a new command core hums, an independent QFS node disconnected from every known banking overlay. Since construction began, DC's underground sensors have gone wild. Electromagnetic fluctuations, radar interference, and inexplicable wildlife shifts around the ellipse confirm the rupture. Masonic lodges have gone dark. 3 canceled rituals. The Scottish Rite building closed its doors. The Pentagon's inner lodge stopped logging floor access. The power that once flowed through the city's geometric veins was gone. The grid, silent. By realigning the White House within the natural magnetic field, the frequency of the entire Capitol changed. The control lattice that fed off trauma and ritual has been severed. The obelisk no longer transmitted. What rises in its place was a quantum fortress, a living structure, broadcasting sovereignty instead of submission, freedom instead of fear. The Vatican, London, D.C. triad has lost its keystone. Their geometry has collapsed. Their frequencies no longer hold. The age of ritual control was over, and the Republic, once enslaved by symbols, has been taking its power back. The president returned, and the spell was broken. President Trump said next week's case on tariffs is one of the most important in the history of the country. If a president is not allowed to use tariffs, we will be at a major disadvantage against all other countries throughout the world, especially the majors. In a true sense, we would be defenseless. Tariffs have brought us great wealth and national security in the 9 months that I have had the honor to serve as president. The stock market has hit all-time highs many times during my short time in office. Our recent successful negotiation with China and many others put us in a strong position only because we had tariffs with which to negotiate fair and sustainable deals. If a president was not able to quickly and nimbly use the power of tariffs, we would be defenseless, leading perhaps even to the ruination of our nation. The only people fighting us are foreign countries who for years have taken advantage of us. Those who hate our country, and the Democrats, because our numbers are insurmountably good. I will not be going to the court on Wednesday, and that I do not want to distract from the importance of this decision. It will be, in my opinion, one of the most important and consequential decisions ever made by the United States Supreme Court. If we win, we will be the richest, most secure country anywhere in the world, by far. If we lose, our country could be reduced to almost third world status. Pray that this does not happen. Pray to God. Gold gains as Fed trims the rates. We had an amazing interview drop on Saturday, folks. If you missed it with Dr. Kirk Elliott, you want to go back and check it out. Precious metals in oversold territory. A tremendous amount of information comes out every single week. Had a great interview. I hope you guys don't miss it. You can go to amweknow.com/gold in the description box below. Reach out to Dr. Kirk Elliott and his team. They will take care of you, especially when we see that silver is going to continue to skyrocket. And I asked him about this, what his predictions are for silver over the next few months into next year. And his answer is phenomenal. You don't want to miss it. If you guys didn't know, Glamour Magazine put on their cover transgenders. instead of females. Look at the reaction from this show.
I mean,
that's
it is
what I have to
ridiculous.
say about the Glamour magazine cover. I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm so done.
Yeah.
I'm so done with the misogyny. I am so over it. I thought we were over this. We're not. Stop putting men in women's positions. I have not seen the shoe on the other foot.
No.
I have no issue with the transgender movement, but stop shoving it down our throats like this.
Yeah.
I'm done. I just genuinely, I think about all the women that could have been on the front cover. Sharon Davies, Alex Phillips, Julia Hartley-Brewer, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, one victim of the grooming gangs.
One victim of the grooming gangs who has come out.
Yeah.
Come on, United Kingdom, get it together. This isn't good enough.
Yeah, but you have to remember that Glamour magazine and these people have been in bed with the woke agenda for a very long time, and they don't see it, and they know they've played a role in a lot of the problems that have been a consequence of identity politics, like the grooming gang scandal.
The corruption is so bad over there. I mean, it's everywhere, but they're really having a hard time over in the UK with all of this. And you guys know we've been covering at length how they've been operating. President Trump said that if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. Listen to this from Laura Logan.
It is time for us to stop calling Islam a religion. It is not a religion. You can ask any Muslim. You can ask any jihadi. They will tell you it is a civilization. It is a civilization that governs every aspect of your life. And most importantly for us in the US, it is a civilization that is duty bound according to the Quran to install Sharia law worldwide.
Worldwide. Listen to this interview here.
Why do you live in a white country rather than your own country? You live in
It's
London
not a white
there.
country.
Why do you live in a white country? I'm sorry?
It's not a white country because I want to tell people about Islam. And if I stay in a Muslim country, they're already Muslim. So there's no point of me telling them about Islam, right? So I have to be in a place where people are not Muslim, right? So if I'm in the UK, there is a lot of people who are from different religions, different faiths, where I can have a dialogue, because this is what I do, right? Interfaith religious discourse and all of that. So I engage with different people.
Could a Christian move to a Muslim country and freely and openly convert the people from Islam to Muslim? I mean, to Christian?
Well, ideally, under Islamic law, no, you're not allowed to, because Christianity is false, while Islam is the truth. You don't allow these harmful ideologies to infiltrate into our people.
When tolerance becomes a one-way street, it leads to cultural suicide. When I am able to fly to Saudi Arabia with my Bible in hand, with my cross around my neck, to go to Mecca and go to a church, then guess what? We're good to go. But until that point, we have to understand the objectives and the goals that Islam.
Listen to this from Masih. I'm sorry if I said her name wrong. Masih Alinejad. She's an Iranian journalist and activist, president of WL Congress, founder of White Wednesdays.
This is what Islamic Republic wants me to be. This is what Taliban and ISIS wants us to be.
For those listening and they're not looking, she's actually covered up.
And this is my true self.
Then she took off her cover.
In Iran, I was told if I take off my hijab, I will be hanged with my hair by God. I'll get kicked out from school. I'll get lashes. I'll get jailed. I'll get fined. I get beaten up in the street every day by morality police. If I get raped, it's my fault. If I take off my hijab, I won't be able to exist as a woman in my homeland. In the West, I am told if I share my stories, then I will cause Islamophobia. I am a woman from the Middle East, And I am scared of Islamic laws. I am scared of all the brutalities that I have experienced. Phobia is an irrational fear. But my fear and the fear of millions of other women who lived under Sharia law in the Middle East is rational. So let us talk.
Amazing. So we head back over to Nigeria. And there's a young lady who had something to say to President Trump.
President Trump, I would like to express my deepest gratitude for placing Nigeria on your watch list. It's very emotional for me because as a Christian and also being of African origin, my Nigerian Christian brothers and sisters are getting killed in numbers. But for you to put them on your list and to be added on your list of countries of particular concern, it's very emotional, and I just want to say thank you. My heart goes out to them, to all my Nigerian brothers and sisters who have had to deal with the horrors of being slaughtered, being persecuted in numbers, all because of their religious faith, their Christian beliefs. And these radical Islamists are terrorizing communities in Nigeria. But I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thank you. Thank you to the Trump administration. Thank you so much. You just don't know. This is not just a Nigeria issue. This is a world issue. And millions of people like myself feel the same way about how Nigerian Christians are just being slaughtered in numbers. And it seems like the world has just turned their back on them. So I thank you so much for taking this matter very seriously and taking a stance to add them on their list. President Trump, I commend you so much, and God bless.
So remember the post that we were given with the vertical flight. Dear Patriot, we hear you. We hear all Americans such as yourself. The time has come to take back our great land. The time is now.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, again, we come before your throne, thanking you for how you continue to guide and direct our lives. We certainly need your help in moving forward and all the information that comes out, that we would be able to take it, put it out in the proper manner that you would like it to reach our ears. We thank you for your word that brings us comfort and rest during this strange time that we live in, as each day has been one battle after another for so many years. Many folks are wore down, and we know the enemy works on that, constantly wanting to wear everyone down to the point where they want to just give up. And we ask that you would give us the strength to continue to move forward. Pray for those that are on the front lines and those that are in the midst of this battle to restore not only our nation, but many around this earth. We ask for continued protection over President Trump, his family, those that are in charge. May you cover them with the Holy Spirit, convict them if they do anything that is not of your will. May your will be done on this earth as it is in heaven. We thank you for allowing us to help our neighbors in times of trouble like this, as we lift them up to you. When things are so difficult, many have lost their jobs or are not getting paid. We know solutions are there, and we ask for your guidance in all of this. We bring this to your throne in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. Thank you guys for listening in again. If you made it this far, we so appreciate you. Thank you for your prayers, for your emails. I just read another one where somebody said they went into a clinic, I believe. Somebody was dealing with cancer, and they sat next to somebody, struck up a conversation, and realized they both listened to And We Know. And to hear how they exchanged contact information and they're going to be friends for good now in the name of Jesus, I was so excited. And I appreciate those that are reaching out to let us know. For now, this is LT Semper Fi with Them We Know, signing out.
The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. Corrupt are they, and have done abominable iniquity.
You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at. I got indicted, and I was innocent. And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me.